Remember the tie that I drew last week? Well, here's a picture of me and Mrs. Rayner on our way to Buckingham Palace for a garden party, and I'm wearing my tie, and that's what I made it for. And I could have spent the whole afternoon drawing all the ladies in their hats, but I couldn't. So here is a quick video of me doing a quick sketch just to remind myself of one hat in particular. Well, this is just going to be a bit of fun today because I think I kind of missed out on Monday. Well, I did a video about why I can't reply to your comments. I hope that's sorted out. Many of you. Now, what am I doing here? Yes, I went to Buckingham Palace yesterday. Had to a garden party. I was invited to a garden party, me and Mrs. Rayner. And it's kind of one of those things that I never, ever thought would happen in my life. And it's just weird how sometimes in life things happen and chances arise, and you kind of have to say yes, please, and grab it. So we had a wonderful time, and we saw the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh and Prince Charles and Camilla, everyone, and met some lovely people. Just had a really great day. And what is so fantastic was that everyone's all dressed up. Most of the men are in kind of suits and things. Few people in top hats and tails and things like that. And but all the ladies, they had to wear a hat. So there were some truly extraordinary hats. And so many of them, I think hats must go in fashions as well. And but many of them have got these little kind of bits of, oh, I've got an email. Many of them had these kind of feathers sort of sticking out, and one or two had a lot of these feathers bouncing around on top. And there was one lady who had, let me think, I'm just making this up as I'm going along. One lady, I just kind of remembering, one lady in particular had this extraordinary hat with lots of these little black feathers, and they were all fluttering. It was quite windy as well. So they were all fluttering away, and as she walked across the lawns, I was reminded of, have you seen Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds? And it looked like she was being kind of mobbed by a whole flock of tiny little blackbirds, which were all bouncing around and fluttering. They're kind of bouncing on the quill bits and then fluttering at the ends. And her hat just looked totally alive, so I thought I'll just do a little drawing. I so wanted to just spend the whole afternoon drawing the ladies in their frocks and their hats. And you had lots of people. The dress code also said you could wear national dress, so national costume. So there were many people there. You got lots of kind of diplomatic people from various places. There was a wonderful group of Japanese there, and the ladies were all in their kimonos looking absolutely fantastic. And lots of people from Africa in their different costumes, and India, and turbans, and all sorts of colourful, amazing things. And so it was absolutely wonderful time. What can I say? What can I say? What more can I tell you? Because you want to know, don't you? It's funny because beforehand, we discovered that a lot of people actually do get to go to the Queen's garden party. She has 3 a year at Buckingham Palace, at least 3 a year at Buckingham Palace, and there's thousands of people go. There are a lot of people, and they are kind of chosen and invited for, I don't know. I got the chance to go because I'm on a committee in the Society of Authors, and I was just very lucky to get this opportunity. And then sort of, I don't know, there were lots of people who are local politicians and people from voluntary organisations, and they're all kind of getting recognition for what they're doing, I suppose. and so people from all sorts of different walks of life. And so, yeah, so having been invited, it just bursting, desperate to tell everybody, hey, guess where we're going? And people go, oh, well, actually, yes, we've been there. And it's amazing how many people have been to the palace. But a lot of people said to me, oh, you'll be surprised by the tea. The tea's not very good. And, but it was fantastic. I'm going to give her, while I'm talking about this, so I'm going to give her, kind of little birds on her dress here as well. No, it was a great tea, and with the thousands of people being given a cup of tea and sandwiches and these beautiful little cakes and things, and there was ice cream afterwards. And it was absolutely fantastic. I don't know why how anybody could have been so miserable to say it wasn't very good, unless it's improved or something recently. I don't know. But we had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Now I'll just quickly splash a bit of paint on here. And everybody keeps asking me about these paintbrushes. This is a Pentel aqua brush, and I very often use Derwent water brush as well. They're just as good as each other, I think. And this is just the first one I picked up. And I know somebody recently, they said to me, oh, that's weird that the water keeps flowing, and that's not right. But it is. That's exactly the whole point, is that the water keeps flowing down the brush. So it works differently to a normal brush. And you just have to get used to it, really. But it's incredibly quick and useful. And if I had been allowed to, well, I don't suppose anybody would stop me, I don't know, but anyway, it just didn't feel quite right to bring a sketchbook out yesterday, and but then this would be the perfect kind of thing to take for a little sketching trip like that. And now this hat, I'm going to get some. This is a kind of indigo. No, that's the indigo. Get the indigo and add a bit of neutral tint to it to really darken it up. And then I put a bit more neutral tint into her hair. And see, I'd have been more than happy just spending the afternoon just sitting there doing this. So we got to walk around the gardens, which was fabulous. And it's just sort of coming out. We're perhaps slightly early, but the first few roses were starting to bloom. But I think there's quite a lot of roses in the garden. So I was going to put these little kind of flick marks to give some kind of movement to these birds. And I'll add a bit of kind of blue to the frock as well, I think. And then little dabs of blue on the pearls. Quick blast of the hairdryer. That's always very useful. And then I'm going to have to do this. Has done a lot of bleeding here, but see, if you're sketching, it doesn't really matter. And I think there's always a kind of desire to get it perfect, but I just really, well, you can see this is how fast I'm doing this, and it's just a kind of a memory, really, an aide-memoire, and just a little kind of sketch. This is the sketch that I wasn't able to do yesterday in my sketchbook, and it's just given me time to chat and to tell you and share my wonderful day yesterday. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, so we went through the main gates, up through the main entrance, which we've seen so many times in kind of national occasions and things. You see carriages and things, national royal weddings, and we've seen the carriages and coaches lining up there and everything, and we kind of went through the palace, went through the main sort of state reception rooms, and then out onto the terrace. And it's just like, whoa, so special, and everyone just wandering around with this great big happy smile on their face. And why wouldn't they? So just put a little bit of shade in there, I think. And a little bit more shade in underneath there. So I've got rather a dark. I did know well, you were taking trying to take photographs of hats and things. I noticed they were very, very dark shadows because it was sunny. So I think I'm just going to do a tiny little bit more there. And there we go. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that, and if you're a bit shy about using sketchbooks like I was yesterday, go and see this video, how to use a sketchbook, or just try the mystery drawing. Either way, make sure you are subscribed to the Shu Raynor Drawing channel and keep coming back for more videos. And in the meantime, keep drawing, drawing, drawing. Practice, 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 and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.